This is the plaintiff, Letitia Murphy. She says she bought a car from the flim-flam defendant, who ended up illegally forging her name on some documents with a bank, and she reported him to the Department of Consumer Affairs. The car he sold her and the terms of the loan are all wrong. She wants out of the deal and demands the return of her $1,500 deposit because she was most definitely wronged. This is the defendant, Lewis. He says this whole lawsuit's downright funny because the plaintiff is saying she returned the car to the bank. The deal she made with the bank for the loan on the car has absolutely nothing to do with him. All he knows is the plaintiff gave him a deposit on the car a year ago. It's non-refundable, and he doesn't have the car anymore. The bank does. He's accused of fudging a contract.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Letitia Murphy?
Yes.
You are suing Lewis. You've asked us just to refer to you by your first name and to not mention the name of your company. You have a used car lot?
Yes.
Okay, Lewis and his used car lot for $1,500, a down payment on a car that you paid him for, that according to you, you surrendered because the terms were all fraudulent. Tell me what happened.
I purchased the 2002 GMC Envoy from the defendant in October 15th of 2011. At the time of purchase, he did not provide me with a copy of the contract that I signed. He told me that his copy machine was not working and that I can get a copy of the contract if I came back the following Monday. This was a Saturday. So I went back to the dealership, and he stated that the bank required the original documents and that he sent them to the bank and that he did not keep a copy. So I consistently called him for a copy of the contract. Then he told me I had to get a copy of the contract from the bank. I called the bank and I got a copy of the contract. The bank told me that they would, I should have gotten one from the dealer, but they'll send me one. So they sent me a copy of the contract. When I received the copy of the contract, I noticed that several things was wrong on the contract. The interest rate that I agreed to was incorrect.
What had you agreed to?
I agreed to 19%.
And what was the interest rate?
24.49. I also agreed to 36 months on the contract. And when I received this contract, it had 45 months on the contract. Also, there was a part about a warranty on the contract. And on the contract, I never agreed to any warranty. And on the contract that I received from the bank, it actually has the dealer's initials, not my initials, agreeing to the contract.
Agreeing to the warranty?
The warranty, yes.
What about the signature on the contract?
The signature on the contract was not my signature as well. I didn't sign this contract. I recall signing a contract, but it wasn't this contract. Even the contract that I received from the bank, in the signature, in my last name is missing an R. And
it's missing a letter?
Yes.
Okay, let me see the contract that the bank told you here. Here's your contract that you signed. And let me see, do you have your purse with you?
Yes.
Pull out any ID that has your signature on it.
Thank you.
When you get this from the bank, what do?
I first contact the bank to let them know that this is not my signature on the contract and the contract is not valid. Then I contacted Mr. Lewis and I told him that the terms on the contract wasn't what we agreed to, and also that the signature on the contract is not my signature.
And what did he say?
He said that he didn't make any alterations to the contract, and he said that I wanted my monthly payments to be $250, so they had to raise the amount of months.
Without telling you?
Apparently so, because I had my witness here, have him sign, because we didn't receive any other documentation, I had him sign this payment coupon saying that the terms was 36 months for the $253.05.
Let me see. Who's your witness? Your boyfriend?
Yes.
Come on up. Yeah, but this is just something written here in handwriting that.
Yes, but
okay, Yeah, I don't know how you buy a car like this. You know, it's such a red flag. I mean, do you have a phone?
Yes.
Does your phone take pictures?
Yes.
Okay, I'd sign it and then photograph what I signed at a minimum so that I have some record. But if there's such a fugazi place that they tell my copier doesn't work, that's when I turn around and hightail it to another place. It's crazy. So, but what ends up happening? Now you have, because what happens is when you apply for financing, the finance company pays them in full for the car, right?
Correct.
And then you've now got the payment deal with the lien holder, that's the bank. You make your complaints to him. He says, it's what you signed, I didn't do anything else. You then make your complaints to Consumer Affairs for the state of New York, to where else?
The Department of Motor Vehicles.
And to the bank itself.
Yes.
And in the meantime, you just keep paying your monthly payment.
That's correct.
And at some point, the bank actually settles with you.
Yes.
And they take back the car,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And they give you back every penny of what you paid.
That's correct.
Okay, with an understanding that it's a settlement and nobody's agreeing to liability on either part, but they just want you to go away and they want the complaint to go away.
Right.
They don't want to be part of something that may or may not be fraud. So they pay you back. So you got to drive the car for free for how many months?
10.
Actually, not for free because you gave him a $1,500 down payment.
That's correct.
You're trying now to be able to drive the car for free and get back that $1,500 down payment so that you could have that car for 10 months, drive it for 10 months without paying anything.
Yes.
It sounds bad when I say it, right? Okay, but now let's talk about that because I'm looking at the paperwork. Do you have any paperwork for this transaction? Show me the paperwork you have.
Sure.
Because I want to see anything with your signature on it. Because I got to tell you, I got a little bit of a worry.
That's okay.
Because I have now like 5, 6, 7, 8 different examples.
You're going to have more right now.
I'm talking.
The plaintiff bought a car from the defendant, but she says he changed the terms of the deal in the paperwork by forging it, the interest, the length of payments, etc. But she says she didn't get the contract because the defendant told her the copier didn't work. It does seem there's some funny business here. Let's listen.
I have now 5, 6, 7, 8 examples of how she signs. She signs extremely deliberately, extremely curvy, and has a very distinctive dip to her Y. And everything I see of your place that has her signature is not like that and is missing a letter. I may sign, with a little bit of variation every time I sign, but I don't forget the letters of my name. I don't put Muffy instead of Murphy. So what's going on?
I have no idea what's going on with her signature because I did not sign the contract. I have no reason to sign her contract. If I signed the contract,
let me just proffer a few reasons. Yeah. You want to make a sale. You want the bank to pay you. You want to sell a $1,700 warranty that the bank will pay you because it's being financed. And you want Ms. Muffy to take a car on any terms because then you get paid by the bank. That would be an incentive.
The bank
Do you understand when you so stop? So when you say I have no reason to, you realize that that's completely false. You may not. You can tell me you didn't, but you can't tell me there's no reason to.
There's no reason for me. No. That's not going to make me sign someone's contract. All the reasons you just stated,
fine, but
that
there
may be
is
someone else's incentive, but not mine.
An unscrupulous thief to forge it because then
Possibly
all of a
for
sudden,
someone else.
Then I understand what you're saying, but you understand what I'm saying, right?
Sure.
Because then little Ms. Murphy, who you might think isn't going to pursue it. She's just happy she has a $250 payment without thinking ahead, like a lot of people, frankly, don't. Mm-hmm. Well, this one apparently thinks. So let me ask you.
Yes.
Do you remember the actual transaction?
Yes. Okay. Miss Murphy and her boyfriend did come in. When we first went over the payments, they were more than what she wanted to do, which we did say was going to be 36 months. If she wanted it to be at the payment where she wanted it to be, which would happen to be $253, she said she could afford, we had to adjust the terms of the contract, make it longer with a higher percentage rate. That's what the bank agreed to because Miss Murphy's credit score wasn't that great. So that's why it was also a high percentage rate. She knew all this, and I gave her paperwork when she left.
Okay, let me see. Did you hand me your paperwork?
Yes.
Okay, hold on one second.
That's the extended warranty that we agreed to.
Have you seen the difference in signatures?
I did not see any other copies besides mine.
Well, even in the documents that you give me, in the retail certificate of sale, that's one signature, and here it's a totally like trembling different signature.
I know that my office, where we do our transactions in my office, is very small. Her boyfriend was sitting on one side of the desk, and she was signing it practically in the air. Whether she's trembling when she's signing it, I don't know.
Look, only one of two things are possible. Okay? You wanted this bank money, so you went ahead, and even though the terms were not what she wanted, you filled out something else and forged your signature. Or she deliberately wrote her name without an R with some elaborate plan in mind of one day being able to succeed against the bank and get them, because I can't believe the bank did this, and to return all her money. And she goes around town, from town to town pulling this scam.
Right.
Those are the only two things that are possible.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Would you ever say, oh, yeah, the copier doesn't work, just mail me a copy later? Would you ever do that?
I would not do it. I would insist on a copy if they didn't have it, and I had already signed it. I'd probably call the police.
What would you be so suspicious of?
Well, one thing, I feel that they're not honest, first of all.
They said the copier didn't work.
Yeah, well, still, that's he's trying to make money. So if he gets a person to sign the contract...
You're just not a real trusting person, are you?
No, I'm not.
Well, that's good. That's good, actually, going inside the courtroom.
I don't have a criminal case in front of me where it's beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. I have a civil case in front of me where I have to decide if there's a preponderance of the evidence in her favor. Is it more likely than not that this is not her signature? And I got to tell you, I think it's more likely than not that this is not her signature.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, it is my opinion. It is my opinion. It is my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
And guess what? The only thing that's important in this courtroom when I'm ruling is my opinion.
And that's why we're here. But
that's right. So the next thing that's going to happen is you're going to hear more of my opinion.
That's fine.
Fine. So stop talking, because now I'm going to shove my opinion down your throat. I am looking now at like 20 different examples of this lady's signature. In none of them does she forget how to spell her name. In none of them is there a shaky hand.
I didn't even see where she forgot her name.
No.
What signature was it?
You stop talking and you listen. In none of them is her handwriting shaky like that. Not a single one.
You just said there's
the
five of them
only
in all.
one that it's like that, not even in your other documents. In your other documents, when she signs for the certificate of sale, it's her normal signature.
Where is she missing an R?
The only thing that's fishy is the one where the terms are changed.
That's
the
not
one
true.
where she buys the warranty and the terms are changed. Those are the only two places. The warranty doesn't even worry me. It's the signature on the change of terms.
Can I see this change of terms where you're saying that she's
you're going to
missing
see
an R?
all of it after I
Because
get
it's
off
not.
the bench, because I'm done. You can stick a fork in me now. I'm done. Okay? The only money, because the interesting part is the bank didn't even go after you for the $5,000.
No.
Right, because they have the car, so they're just going to call it, they're going to just sell the car and cut their losses.
Exactly.
But the only penalty for you, if I find that there's something fishy here, is that $1,500. So even though I think that you end up with a bonanza, I'm more concerned that he not. And I am ruling in your favor in the amount of the deposit, $1,500, pay the lady.
See what the defendant has to say coming on. You got a couple of minutes for a comment here? All right, so what's your reaction to the outcome of this case? It looked a little flim-flammy.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny how you could give someone a car for 1 year and they return them all their money. I mean, I didn't know that you could drive cars around in New York City and not pay for anything.
Well, she's presenting evidence that makes it looks like something happened here.
Right. And she could look like it, but nothing happened. She knows she signed it. There's like 10 signatures that she signed, not just one.
Mm-hmm. All right, head right around the corner like that. The man's sticking to his guns all the way to the end. So come on in here. Tell me how you feel about the outcome here.
Great.
What do you think happened here?
He's actually a thief, and the judge saw it, and everyone else now sees it.
Mm-hmm. Took a lot of gumption on your part to fight this all the way through like that.
Yes.
With the bank, with him, with everybody. How do you feel right now?
I feel great.
Okay. All right, Harvey.
Okay, a lot of times you need a handwriting expert to prove your case, but in this case, the differences were so extreme that the judge could do it on her own, no problemo. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.